Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some daffodils. This is our Flower of the Month series. We're doing one of these little mini canvases with the Flower of the Month on them. So this is our third one since we're in the month of March, and daffodils is our flower. So looking forward to this one. I'm going to try to keep it simple for our beginners, and I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. Got my husband, Mark.
Hey there, everybody.
Here. And he's man in chat for our live show. So if you have questions, you can join in and ask us, and we'll try to answer them while I'm painting. Let's get started. Alrighty, so here's our first two here that we did, the carnation and the iris. I guess they would go over here, but we'll be adding our daffodils here in this one. And we're doing the backgrounds in kind of varying shades of gray. So we'll be doing another gray on this one. This first one was kind of a brownish gray in the background. This one was more of a bluish gray. And I think on this one, we're going to kind of go with the pink or mauve type of gray. So kind of fun, just, you know, learning different types of grays. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say there. I caught my...
Are you waiting for me to say something?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a point to that, but there wasn't one. So anyhow, well, we'll do different gray on the backgrounds of all of them. This is kind of what I was trying to get at, but I forgot.
Okay, so the grays are going to be different.
Right. They'll all be different on each one of the canvases. All 12 will have a little bit different gray. So we'll show you kind of different shades of gray and how to mix them each month. All right. This is a 5x5 inch artist gallery wrapped red label canvas from Fredrix that we're using. They're really fun little canvases, and you can stand them up. You don't have to frame them. So it makes it nice because if you don't want to frame them, they can all kind of stack up on your countertop. Let's go over our colors really quick. I've got Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Light, Cadmium Yellow Medium, Yellow Oxide, Cadmium Yellow Light. I kind of added that one at the last minute. Phthalo Green Yellow Shade, Teal, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Burnt Sienna, Ultramarine Blue, and Burnt Umber. These two are in the wrong space, but I forgot to put that one down. The teal can be mixed with Phthalo Blue and Phthalo Green if you don't have it, just to add a little bit of white in these two colors. And, you know, if you don't have these exact colors, that's fine. We're just kind of doing varying shades of yellow and having a little bit of reds in there for some of our shadow areas and our background. And I've got glazing medium, some unbleached titanium, and some titanium white. All right, our brushes are going to be the number 6 Filbert, number 2 Bright, and number 1 Round in the 6-100 series in Princeton. And then I've got a small Filbert, number 4, and a 3/8 inch and a 1/4 inch angle shader. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of them, but we'll have them just in case. These are all from Princeton. They're our brush sponsor. This one is a Select fan, Bristle fan. I like the stiff bristle fans for splattering and such. Yes, they are our brush sponsor, and Fredrix is our canvas sponsor, so thank you to them. Would you zoom in here, hon?
Well, you also said brunch sponsor.
Did I say brunch sponsor?
At first, so I got pretty excited about that. Yeah. Hey, somebody's already said they like your ring.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got that at Crystal Bridges when we were on vacation. Mark and I went. Mark was a good sport. He went with me to a flower arranging class.
Oh, yeah. And
on our vacation.
I kicked your butt.
I don't think so, but that's all right.
When I was going to put it for a vote before the Facebook group, and you kind of balked at that.
Yeah, because you
knew. I may have angled mine a little bit nicer.
You
but hey,
made yours look a lot better than mine in the photographs. It's like, let's see who they like better.
Yeah.
I'll find a gray that I'm liking here. This one's a little too purpley right now, so I'm going to keep on trying here. I might try the just phthalo green. That's interesting. So you can make grays different ways. Mixing the opposite color on the color wheel is a really good way of doing it. So that's this right here would be opposite on the color wheel. It's a little bit bright. So you can take a brown and just tone it down. And then if I add like a off-white to it, I can see the kind of undertones that I'm getting. And then if it's too pink, I can add more green, and that'll gray it out even more. It's getting closer to where I want it. So this is, yeah, that's pretty good. It's almost one of those colors where you can't really tell what it is exactly. So that's kind of what we're going for, is like in our gray, we're wanting to, you know, obscure our colors. And yeah, that's a really pretty gray. Okay, so that one was the Quinacridone Magenta and Phthalo green yellow shade plus the Unbleached Titanium. So I'm going to use that. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Really pretty. And the nice thing about that is that it's got the purple tones that'll go with this canvas too. So we're kind of, you know, using colors that'll kind of adapt and go with one another. And I'm going to grab just a little bit of glazing medium and some of my white here, and I'm just going to slap that on and around it. Now the white will make it a little bit more purpley. It's going to pull out those blue tones in our paint. So just be aware of that. That's why I kind of use the warmer color to start with, to lighten it up. And I'm just going to tap that on. I'm using this Filbert brush and just kind of slapping it on there and kind of smushing that paint around. And it's fairly thick on my brush, so that'll kind of give us a little bit more of that impressionist feeling in the background there. And don't overblend it. Just kind of let your brush strokes show. If you keep blending, then you're just going to blend out all your brush strokes. So I might pick up some of this down here that was that teal color mixed in with it too. That was the first color mix that I tried. And just use some of that up while I have it on my brush. So that's going to look really cool against all of these other colors. And if I wanted to gray it out even more, I could add a little bit of that brown, more of the brown to it. But this is kind of nice having it be kind of just a subtle color. It is still a gray, but it's got a little bit of a tint to it. So, and this will be pretty under our yellow flowers. It's a little bit slightly purple. So, and I talked about last time how when we did the irises, how choosing a color that's opposite on the color wheel from your main color is a good way of choosing a background color for your painting. Now, of course, my reference photo had a little bit of a warm brownish pink color in the background. I've made it a little bit more purple than the reference photo was, but I could have left a little bit more of this color in if I wanted to go more pink with it. So it just depends on how much of the green that you put in. If you put in more green, it'll kind of turn out more purple like this. And if you leave more of that Quinacridone Magenta in there, it'll look a little bit more of a mauve pink color. But choosing a color that's opposite on the color wheel is always a good little trick. And choose a color that is like neutral toned. If you're using a really vibrant yellow like we're going to be doing, choosing a neutral opposite color, so a neutral purple, will work really well. So like with the iris, we chose a neutral yellow for our base. I'll show that for our base, right? Since we were using such a vibrant purple there. So it's just a little, you know, if you're trying to choose background colors and that kind of thing, it's kind of a fun, easy way of choosing. I'm just doing this really quick, trying to dab this on here. Give this front part a little time to dry for me. And I'm going to hand it off to Mark to dry it for me. Get a little bit more water. Here we go. You see I'm kind of switching my brush back and forth too. That gets that paint off both sides because there'll be kind of different colors on each side of the brush. Okay, I'm going to hand that to Mark and let him dry that for me. While he's doing that, let me clean up my brush really well. And say welcome if you're a new timer to our show. Really glad to have you. And we do this twice a week. we're kind of getting back into the swing of it because we took a whole week off. So, but kind of the whole goal of the channel is just to kind of help you learn to paint in a sort of fun, relaxing environment. Try to take out the mystery out of it. I'm looking for my sketchbook. There it is. Take the mystery out of learning to paint and make it fun. Okay, so here's our stickman guy. Here, he's Mark's creation here, and my nemesis. No, I'm joking. I add a little bit to, in this case, it's her. Every month, depending on whatever it is we're painting. So we'll give her a daffodil on her dress here. And this is just for fun, just to fill time. No reason, just to kind of be silly. All right, let's give it a little center there. Come on. So small, I can't really see it. Okay, so she's got a carnation there. I don't think we didn't do an iris last month on her. So, yeah, I don't have my purple out, so, oh well, she didn't have her. I was going to add a flower on her for all of the flowers of the month. Our daffodils were going to be pretty easy to paint. I ran out of paper here, so I was going to show you how to draw one, but we'll just have to do it on the canvas.
Did you show our daffodils?
Oh, no, I didn't. So here's our daffodils. Those pretty. And they have 6. These ones are a little different than the ones we're using in our photograph, but they all, basically have the same thing. So they have six outer petals, right, that are kind of teardrop shaped. And then the inner has a cone kind of around the outside, and then a little center stamen. So, and depending on where you're, how it's pointing, ours are mostly pointing towards the center. So some of these petals are going to be sort of shortened a little bit, and from the side, they're not all going to be perfectly flat. So I'll show you that while we paint it. Yeah, those are the only color of the daffodils in our yard that actually bloomed this year for some reason. There's those little white and yellow ones. That's funny. Okay, I don't know why we're still so zoomed out. There we go.
I zoomed out while you were painting the edges because you were going off camera, believe it or not.
I never do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
So weird.
Did you share our fan mail while I was gone too?
No, I should have done
just
that.
stick
That would have
man.
been a good idea. That would have been a good idea. We'll do that at the end. We got a bunch of fan mail.
All right.
Okay, so here's a preview of coming events.
What is that? What is that glorious, glorious thing?
It's coming. You'll see. That was probably one of the better things we've gotten in the mail. Mark was so excited.
A very big smile on my face.
Nobody's sending me like birds or anything. They always send you like tanks. I don't get any of the stuff that I collect, but
hey, you should just talk to the people in chat.
I should tell them to send me stuff, huh? That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
They're sending Mark magnets and all kinds of fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to make my vase down here, kind of keep it in the bottom half of my canvas. So this is actually really small since, we're only using 5-inch canvas here. So we don't have a whole lot of room to work with. So we're just going to keep it really tiny here. And there's a little short neck here. And then it kind of widens out and then goes straight down like a squared off. It's almost like a bottle shape. And then the bottom is flat. There's a little bit of a side angle right here and a little raised area right here. It's giving us a little shadow effect. All right, and then our flowers are going to be up here. This is not working for me. I'm just going to use the white chalk. It's hard when the paint's fresh on my canvas. It doesn't, like the chalk, nothing wants to stick to it. It's just really weird. So I want this to be almost completely flat, and then it just curves up just a little bit more on this side than this side. And then these shoulders rounded out. Okay, so right there. And then we've got our little daffodil. I'm going to make one kind of coming down that way up here. And I'm going to kind of shorten the stems a little bit. They're kind of real far away, so I'm going to bring one down a little closer in the middle here. So here's our 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little star-shaped kind of blossoms, and a little circle in the middle, and then we'll do another one over here. And the ones that are kind of flattened, I'm going to make this one smaller than these side ones. So these ones are a little bit longer. They're all going to kind of point to the middle section here, though. And there's our center of that flower. And this one's tucked behind everybody. He's just kind of peeking out over the top like our cat does when we're at the table and cooking something in the kitchen. She sits at the edge of the table and peeks over the edge at us like a creeper. So he's being a creeper. Right? Mark's laughing because it's true. We have so many pictures of her.
So
just
true.
just the 2 eyes and her ears sticking up over the bar.
Yeah, I got a picture of, I made some bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit a couple years ago, and I had it on the counter, and I turn around, and all you see are 2 eyes staring at the sandwich over the counter. So, yeah.
Yep, Cashmere the creeper. All right, there's one there, and then there. I'm going to put this other one down over here, kind of pointing this way a little bit. So there. Really just kind of making V shapes almost, overlapping them a little bit. And right there, and then the circles like that. Okay, so there's a little thing. I might make our vase just a little bit wider because it looks like it's going to fall over from the weight of those flowers. They're so big. Okay. So let's get a little bit of teal. And I want to keep this wet, the grays that we'd used, so that I can add it in other places, like maybe up in the flower a little bit. Flowers in some of our shadows areas in our white. It'll be a good color to kind of add in there since the white is kind of reflective of the colors around it usually. So I'm just adding white to my teal here. And like I said, you can mix this color if you want to from phthalo blue, phthalo green, and just depending on how much blue or how much green you add, it'll be a little bit more minty green or a little bit more of a aqua blue, just depending on how much you add. So go ahead and on, and I'm using the number 2 flat because it's got such a nice flat side. It'll make it a little bit easier to get these straight edges on the edge of the bottles, or vase, really. Calling it a bottle, but it's not. There we go.
So we'll say hi to everybody.
I did. I know.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say, so if you're new, please subscribe to the channel.
You didn't follow the script.
I was just like, hey, if you're new, this is what we're about. But I didn't ask them to subscribe.
Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe.
Yeah. Hope you come back.
We do this nearly every Tuesday night. Yeah. And Saturday afternoons.
Yes, Saturday afternoons too. All right, so there's that. I'm going to grab a little bit of green, a little bit of that phthalo blue, a little bit darker teal color here. There we go. I'm going to go right up under here. Just add a dark shadow under my bottle. right there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of it on this side. And I'm just kind of working into that wet paint, so it's kind of mixing a little bit with it. Let's use a little bit of it in the middle right there, and a little bit of it underneath our lid there. The little top part of it. Grab some white. And let's just add a white highlight down one side if I can get enough. Let me get that blue off of there. Phthalo blue is so, phthalo blue and phthalo green both are so highly pigmented. They just almost take over when you use them in anything. So when you're mixing it with white, you really kind of have to just use almost plain white because they won't. There we go. Little reflection there, little reflection there coming down. A little reflection right there and off one side of the bottle. Base, whatever. There we go. We're not really doing a whole lot to these. We're just kind of adding suggestion. There we go. We want a little bit bigger. Little suggestion of shape, and let's add a little bit of this gray over this side, and I'm going to add some gray to this darker teal and just use it down here underneath my vase in this direction. And if it's not dark enough, you can grab a little bit of the darker. We're not too concerned about it. You could put a little, like in our pictures, there's a white line across. You could do that if you wanted to, too. That'll, you know, help define it a little bit more. I'm kind of got some areas that I missed in my background color. So here I'm going to kind of go around it and add a little bit of the background color. Smush it around here. It's got that teal color in it, so that's fine. It'll kind of just add a little bit of that hint of that color to the background. Very good. And I can kind of clean up my edges too if I need to. Okay. And by kind of smudging out those edges too, like I did, you know, kind of made those edges a little bit softer right there. That kind of adds to that kind of impressionist feel too. It's those soft blendy edges is what really kind of works for the impressionist style painting. And when I say impressionist, I'm just saying, you know, we're not like putting ultra realism into this. We're kind of letting our edges be a little bit soft, and we're giving the impression of the shapes and things of what we're doing, but not necessarily going into super ultra realism detail. All right, so I'm mixing up some green here, and I'm going to use a little bit of the dark green with a burnt umber for a dark green color, and then I've added a little teal right here and a little bit of yellow right here. So we've got kind of 3 different greens to work with. I'm not wanting to use the phthalo green on its own because it's so bright. It just looks unrealistic. So you don't want to really usually use these colors straight out of the bottle. Most times I'm mixing them with other colors, and that helps them with their look more realistic. Okay, I think this color is going up here. I'm not sure where that one goes, and that one's there. I'm trying to kind of point these towards the centers of these flowers, but I think most of these are, I guess part of that's going to show behind that one. Okay, there we go. A little base greenery, and then I'm going to grab that light color and just kind of tap it along one side like that. kind of started with the darker color. All right. That'll be good. These are really fun, super easy. I would say just don't kind of overthink it too much when you're doing this. Kind of try to keep your brush strokes loose, and that'll help. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of Ultramarine Blue, a little bit of Burnt Umber, tiny bit, just to make it gray, but it's mostly blue. And then I'm going to grab my white. So I've got a kind of a blue-gray here, and I'll use this gray as well. And I'm going to add my white petals to start with this color. So I'm just going to start out here, and I've switched to my number 4 Filbert, this tiny little Filbert here. You could use a small round brush if you wanted to instead. But let me see. I want a little bit warmer color here, so I'm going to grab a little bit of brown, a little bit of my yellow oxide. I still have my blue in my brush too, so it's kind of all making happy family of colors here. There we go. So we'll have kind of a warm gray brown as our base of these flowers. We don't want like a pure white to start with, because otherwise there won't be any depth at all with these petals. So this will give us a little bit of color to work with underneath. And when we put on our upper layers, we'll have this underneath, and it'll make them kind of pop. We'll be able to see this variegation in the petals. All right, so I'm not going all the way to the center with this. I'm just kind of creating my shapes and leaving kind of, a little bit of the brown, a little bit of the white, and I might even put a little bit of the turquoise in a couple of these. Maybe just in the areas where it's darkest. And it's probably going to look really weird right now, but we'll soften it up as that was probably a little bit too dark there, but there we go. We'll add our colors on top. It'll all blend together and look nice. All right, so let's do this one up here. And like I said, I did change it from the photograph, so it's a little bit different. So I'm kind of just making this one up because this one is touching the other one in the picture. So I'm kind of...
Are you touching me?
Yeah. They're not anymore.
Where's their parents?
They got separated.
Okay.
They were not behaving. They're boys. We would just take away the toy. I was such a mean mom. If they fought over it, it was just like, okay, it's gone. So deal with your issues or your toy goes away. That was my mom. That was my parenting style. So those poor boys, like, you hear them fighting, like whispering fight, because they didn't want me to know that they were fighting over something. They didn't want to take it away. They were still going to argue, but they weren't going to let me know about it, which was a win-win for me, because I'm like, okay, they're learning life skills, right?
Coping.
Huh?
Coping
mechanisms.
Yep.
What was that movie that we watched the other day? Oh, it was about the start of the .com thing. And the boss came in. He brought his 2 employees in that were fighting. And he was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. That was the story about the start of the internet.
Right.
And
y'all have the end of the week to work this out, or I'm going to fire one of you.
Yeah.
He was like, we got along so well after that.
Right. Yeah, that was
I don't know.
Netscape.
Yeah, Netscape.
The start of Netscape, yeah.
Yeah, Netscape founder, CEO. I don't know. Anyhow, sorry, got off topic there. Where this one was a little bit of the burnt sienna. You probably saw me mix it. I added just a little bit of the I can't say that word today for some reason. Quinacridone Magenta And the burnt sienna with a little bit of the yellow there, I think, and maybe a little bit of that one. I can't remember. But I'm just kind of testing to see what color I want in that middle there, which is probably a little bit dark, but we'll probably go in here with some yellow oxide here and sort of shape these out a little bit more. Just leave that color in the middle just there. That'll work. And these ones that are kind of pointing away from us, I'm just going to put this a little bit offside. So see how that worked? Instead of putting it right up along that edge, we're kind of putting that circle closer back to one side. Wherever that circle is kind of going to be the center of our flower. And so if I want it kind of pointing that way, I'll just put it off center just a little bit like that. Have more of the yellow showing here and less on this side. And this one is pretty much almost facing us completely, but it's a little bit more like facing this way. So doing it like that. That'll work. I'm trying to get these kind of based out so I can kind of figure out where I want to put these other ones here. I don't want that to dry out for me. I'm going to mix up a little bit more of that blue. All right, so let's do this creeper back here that's peeking up over the edge. We'll call this one Cashmere. That's our cat's name. And these are fun to paint. These are kind of no stress. Don't overstress it. Painting should be fun. When you're first learning it, it's a little frustrating, I admit. I mean, it would be like me trying to learn how to play piano. I get it. It's frustrating at learning any new skill, but you can do it if you practice at it. And just kind of do the steps. Kind of know that it's going to probably maybe not turn out exactly like you want it the first couple times you paint. But anything that you try is not going to be super easy. I mean, anything worth learning is going to be difficult. You know, anything worth mastering, it's going to be a little bit difficult the first few times you do it. But one of the ladies in one of my groups was saying, well, because somebody was saying that somebody made fun of their art, or that they didn't like what they had painted, you know, or that they themselves didn't like what they had painted. And she was like, well, this is just what you painted this week. You know, this time, next week, you'll have something different, and hopefully it'll be, you know, better. And the week after that, it'll be better. And the week after that, you know, so it's just kind of a process of kind of, you know, putting in the time and working it out. So if it's difficult at first, just kind of know you're learning, you know, that's normal. Don't, I think in art, for some reason, there's this notion that you should be good at it if you have talent for it right off the bat without any training, you know. And I don't know why that is, because it's not with anything else. Like, musicians are expected to work at their skills, you know. I mean, people, you know, of any other kind of thing. I made a gray with those two colors there, the ultramarine blue and the brown, a little bit darker color. Felt like it needed it back here. You know, you'd expect that the person who, you know, was good at whatever their skill was, you know, had worked years to get there. But for some reason, we feel like we should sit down and be able to do it the first time around really well with painting if you're, you know, if you have talent for it. And that's just not true. I mean, you know, it took me years to get comfortable with painting. You know, I started out drawing in school, so I mean, I had a little bit of a head start maybe, but I still had to work at it just like anybody else did. You know, we all start out as beginners, unless you're a prodigy, which, you know, rarely happens. Then you'd be an internet star already, and you wouldn't be watching my show. So, you know, like, seriously, you'd already.
Yeah, I was going to go.
That kid that can paint, portraits, like realistic. All right.
I was going to go play for the Celtics.
Right.
But they're like, no, you haven't been practicing.
Exactly.
I was like, I shot a basketball once. Come on. You don't think I'm a professional? Jeez.
All right, I'm putting a little bit of white highlights on here, just kind of trying to see if this is the right undertone, just so I know if I'm on the right track or not. But I think it's pretty good. I think it's dark enough. So I'm going to do this around the outside, and you can see how I'm kind of just sort of streaking down towards the middle, but not kind of covering anything, all of it up. That one's kind of pointing back that way. Cute. And then this one's going to be in the sort of more of in the dark. So I'm just going to do the edges of it. Here we go. All right, so let's do this one. We'll add some lighter whites to this one. Not going to be as white. It's one of our background ones, kind of like this one here. I may have gone a little too dark with that gray, but always cover it up. That's the nice thing about acrylics. That's why I don't paint watercolors, because you got to get it right the first time. Like I don't have... I can't think that far ahead. Like, I just want to play with the paint and figure it out while I go. That's my plan. It's pretty much as far as I get in my planning. I was like, well, I think this might work. Let's try it. Yeah. So if you watch my shows live, you know what I'm talking about. We've had to work through some messes.
No, you're perfect, honey.
Well, I think it helps people though to see. I mean, it's a process. It's not like a.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not.
That's why I mess up all the time.
Right.
Because I'm helping everybody.
You're helping everybody see kind of how to fix their problems.
Exactly.
All right, so then this one's going right in the middle here. So I'm going to do this petal kind of overlapping this green right here. And you can see I'm just using variations of these grays, the burnt umber, ultramarine blue. There's a big petal right there. Petal right there. Our cat's knocking at the door. You can hear her. She's knocking like this at the door. She's getting in the rhythm now. She's not going to give up. She can hear us in here. She's like, I can hear you. Spencer
went to get dinner.
So she's been left on her own. He's our babysitter, cat sitter, I should say.
Oh, you got a light right across your palette there, coming through the sun.
Oh, wow. Sure does. That's from my... Yeah, it's this time of year. The sunset hits just right, and it does that. Because I remember last year we had to move that curtain over, cover that up.
All these people in chat telling me to let her in do not have to deal with the
cat on their lap through the show.
Plethora of cat fur that will get all over me and my microphone and everything. In fact, you might want to check yourselves watching now, because you probably got some cat fur on
through the screen. Yeah, exactly. I think so. And if you're wearing black, forget about it. You might as well change. Get out that lint brush, because it's happening. All right. There we go. So we've got our little center one there. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but once we put this white on here, we'll be able to tell. All right, so grabbing a little bit of that white. Cashmere, stop. Oh my gosh, just let her in, honey. She's driving me crazy. All right, so I need to do the yellow in the background of that first. But I can do these ones first. She's like, oh, did you hear?
She heads right for my chair.
Yeah, she jumps right up on his chair. She's so happy. You can just hear it in her voice. She's so happy. Oh, thank you, Father. let's use some of this. Color for the center of this. What are you laughing? What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to type around the cat right now. Don't mind me over here. She's rubbing her face all over my mic stand right now.
Get a little bit of green here. Gonna add it to the center, darkest areas. Right there. I don't know how this one got split the way it did. It's really supposed to be kind of split around the side of this. I might still be able to move that. Let me just go ahead and move that petal over. Just put it there. There we go. Now, it's probably going to look worse before it looks better. I mean, this kind of looks like a hot mess right now. But it's a process of layering. I'm going to layer these colors on. Very good. And we're going to have this one's kind of peeking in behind right here. What? The cat?
Oh, no, my phone is just slow.
Oh.
Someone asked about videos for brush strokes, and I said that you got one.
I do.
And I was just looking for the title of it so it'd be easier for them to find.
It's called 5 Essential Brushes for Learning Brush Strokes or something like that. It says 5 Essential Brushes is in the title.
Well, la-di-da-da, Miss Smarty Pants.
Well, somebody was telling me that I needed to use more numbers in my titles, so that's what when I did that one. I think it was you that told me to do that. So.
You mean clickbait?
Yep.
5 Essential Daffodils to Paint.
Exactly.
That's what you should have titled tonight's video. Well, there's a Stickman tutorial. It was before that, right?
I don't know.
Okay, now my windscreen is gone, so
just
hope everybody's happy.
Just search for it. You can just search YouTube. Just type in Angela Anderson essential brushes or something like that. 5 essential brushes. Or brush strokes. It'll come up with brush strokes too, I'm sure.
Five essential brushes for acrylic painting.
Okay.
Published 3 years ago.
And it's been a while.
And it's the number 5. Don't spell it out.
Right. Okay. Grab a little bit more of that white, and now that that's dry, I can get a little brighter highlight on there on my base. Right. They look really weird right now, but getting there. Once we put that yellow on in the centers, it'll all make sense. So I'm just kind of going along the edges here and kind of adding a little bit of highlights, mostly on the tips of these petals to kind of bring them forward where they're overlapping. The ones that are kind of behind, like this one, I'm kind of leaving a little bit more brown or blue or whatever color you chose to do in your shadows. Can use a little bit of that purple tone too. Might use a little bit of that. Okay. Let's use our yellow and some yellow oxide. That's cadmium yellow medium here. I'm going to go around this, add a little bit brighter yellow around the outside. And this one's pointing this way, so the center is way back here. This one is almost pointing straight at us, but more of the bottom part is showing here. Use some of that dark burnt sienna back there too. There we go. Don't go too bright too fast. I think that's one of the mistakes that beginners make. So they don't give their painting time to develop. They kind of jump in and put all the light colors on first, and then there's nothing for the darker colors. There's no depth because there's just nothing there for the darker colors to play against, or vice versa for the light colors to pop out against. It's all just flat. Alright, so washing that out, and I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now. I'm going to get that round number 1 and some white and my cadmium yellow light. If you don't have cadmium yellow light, just use your cadmium yellow medium with this. And I'm adding white to make this even more opaque than normal. And I'm going to put some streaks. Ooh, that's bright. It might be too bright. Let me grab some yellow, cadmium yellow medium. Do this first with the, yeah, there we go. So dab, dab, dab. There we go. I went back in with that with the yellow. Yellow oxide, just to kind of soften that up. All right, so grab some more of that cadmium yellow medium. And we'll do from the outside in, I'm just going to kind of pull streaks and try not to cover too much of the center part. And these are pretty big. So I'm going outside the area that I've already done. And expanding the centers of those flowers out. This one, we're only seeing kind of the tip of it right here. And then it's starting to widen out around here. Then we still need a little bit of that darkness down in the center because we're going to put those center stamens in, right? So the centers of those flowers have to go in there still. So we don't want to completely light. Don't want to lose that dark part right there. Okay. And the more you kind of dab at this, the more different layers of paint you'll have, and the better, the more interesting it'll be. So don't feel like you have to get this right on your first try. You can go back in and add your dark again if you need to, or whatever. I grab a little bit of that burnt sienna and bring it up a little bit higher on this one. Cashmere, be quiet. Are you making her make noises there, hon?
Well, every time I go to reach to adjust the sound levels, she does that little chirping noise.
Do it again.
Well,
no, she's not going to do it.
She's not going to do it.
In case you're waiting for it.
I'll have to give her a few seconds.
Okay. There we go. So that's starting to come together. Now we want the bright yellow. So let's clean that brush out. Just needed kind of a medium yellow to start with. Now we want that bright yellow. It's adding a little bit. It's already opaque. The white will just brighten it up just that much more, and we can add more of the yellow on top of this layer too. So I'm gonna just dab. There we go. Our little highlights, and do very tiny little brush strokes around the outside there, and then do our little thing there for the center. Okay. So these ones, not all of them have a whole lot of this color, so you can just do it limited kind of on some of these. And then the center of this one is coming out this way. Like that. And if you need to, you can, once you get that center in there, you can add a little shadow to it along one side if it's not showing up, you know, and maybe down here where it's touching, like add a little darker color just where it's kind of touching into the center of that flower. For some reason that one's not looking quite right to me, and I'm not sure why. I think I got the center a little off center. Oh well. Alright, so this one, little ruffled edge, just dab, dab, dab. Get that ruffly edge feeling. And then kind of where we're seeing more of the inside of it, do the brush strokes in towards the center. In here, dab right here. And then right in here, we're going to do some brush strokes. This one's going to have brush strokes there. And then let's do the center, little dealy bob. And then some of them are not, like that one, really not going back that far. So I'm going to grab that burnt umber and kind of tap that off there. A little bit darker back there. There we go. So we're only seeing it's almost pointing straight at us. This one is right there. And this one is also kind of pointing almost straight at us. So we're just seeing a little bit of it. And dab that darker color over the base of that line so that it blends in. Right. Okay, just going in now with a little bit more of that bright yellow. Adding one more layer of it. This one is just going to be really selective where I put it. Isn't that pretty? These are fun to paint. And this outside edge of the ruffle is real uneven, so it's not like a perfect circle here. So, you know, make sure you're kind of dabbing along that outer edge so that it looks like it's ruffled. This one can come even more farther out. Okay. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this color. Just put a little reflection of that yellow in my vase a little bit. Just a little touch of that color on there maybe. And if you want to, you could always put a little petal down here somewhere, or like on our picture, there's, there's our flower sitting down there. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm pretty happy with that. And then if you want to, at the end here, just to kind of subtly change the colors, you could go in with like a glaze, your glazing medium, and some of your bright cadmium red light here. We really need to wait for that to dry completely. It's not dry. But add a little touch of that to some of these petals. Kind of orange them up a little bit. So they can be kind of orangey colored. There we go. These are fun.
Can you define fun? Fun as in playing video games fun? Or
I don't know. Since I don't play video games, I wouldn't have a point of reference for that.
Or fun like root canal
Putting
fun.
a little bit dark. Shut up. You just insulted 90% of our audience there, honey. Who actually do like to paint and think it's fun too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, teacher. See, now they want cat cam.
Now they want cat cam.
Yes.
That's cute. That would be fun, actually. That would be funny. That would mean Mark actually has to wear not his sleep pants there.
Oh, you mean my uniform?
Yeah, exactly.
My pajamas?
Right. You'd have to wear like some actual pants.
I'm wearing my Stickman t-shirt tonight in jeans.
There you go. Okay.
You want me to turn side cam around?
That's all right.
Cashmere is white.
Yes.
For those who are asking.
She's all white. No spots. She's just... All right. I'm pretty happy with that. I can add a little bit of that
and which brush?
Yellow hint to some of my petals if I want to. To kind of add a little of that glow to some of my petals.
Which brush are you using?
This is the number 2 or number 1 round. Just adding little dabs of this yellow color and some of my petals. I don't want to turn them yellow, but having that little bit of yellow glow there kind of helps the overall look. And it would reflect, a little bit of that color onto the bright white petals too. So one more layer of your ultra white color if you need it. And I think we're about done. I'm going to sign it. And we're one more month off of our series here. That was fun. So here's them all lined up together. We'll zoom out there. Super cute so far. And of course this would go this way if you're keeping them in order, but I like them. Really fun. I still think that vase is a little bit small for the size of flowers, But it actually is to scale in our reference image. It's just, we moved them down a little bit. So maybe they are a little bit big. So you can make your vase a little bit wider if you need to, if it bugs you, if you're worried about them tipping over.
Are you going to do splatters?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I feel like I need to do a little bit darker shadow underneath the vase here too, now that I'm seeing it dried.
Okay.
A little bit of this darker purpley blue here. Nice. Super chat. What?
Super chat.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a couple of super chats tonight.
Great.
Our first super chat was from Jill, and she says, "Love y'all."
Oh.
And our second super chat was from Julie, and she says, "You guys are the best."
Oh.
Well, you guys are the best. Thank you so much, Julie and Jill.
Yes.
All the J's.
All the J names. My grandma told me that I couldn't name any of my kids J, but I did anyways. Because she had a Joy, Jordan, Jonathan. No, we named our son Jordan. So she had a Joy, Jonathan, Jojo, Joseph, and something else. I can't remember. I think I'm missing one or two. Oh, my brother Joshua. And so when it came to naming our kids, we were told we couldn't do any more J names, but we did it anyways. So.
Hey, share the mail stuff real quick.
The mail stuff?
Yeah, stuff we got in the mail.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really like how that turned out. I like it. Really fun. I'm glad.
It's
always a relief when I finish a painting and I'm like,
you still didn't splatter it.
I still didn't splatter. Oh, I will. I will for sure. But I do like that purpley gray on it. It turned out really good. It looked so purple when we first started in it, but now that you get it next to the others, it looks gray. It's kind of funny how that works. All right, so we got these from Pat Pierce from Newfoundland, Canada. And one is the shape of Newfoundland. And then this one says province of Newfoundland. And it is really cool. It's like one of those 3D. It changes shapes. I think they're carolers or they're working on something there. I can't really tell.
Nice.
So, yep, those are fun. So thank you to Pat Pierce for those. Those are going up on Mark's magnet board.
Yep.
And from Sandy Neeland, we got San Diego magnet, which is awesome. And she put her name on the back already, so I didn't have to do it. Which is fantastic. And that's where my brother Josh lives right now. So there you go.
Nice.
She's neighbors. And then Mona sent us a beautiful card. And I saved all of the lovely stickers. Look at all those cool stickers. I covered her address here. So, but she always sends the coolest stickers on her
stickers and stamps.
Thing, cool. On her mail. And she made us a nice card. And she sent us really awesome. I love this one. My son Jordan would love this too because he watches Vikings with me. So it's a Viking ship from Sweden and a Sweden magnet with the outline of Sweden. So this is fantastic. Thank you, Mona. Plus she sent me chocolate, but I've already eaten part of it and it's in the other room.
Oh yeah. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, the best kind. And then Oh, this is from Kat, I think, right? Yeah. Yes, Kat sent us this. Isn't that beautiful? So this is from the same artist, it looks like, in her area of Canada. Oh, I hope I didn't show that online. Did I show her address online?
I don't know.
I hope I didn't. Sorry.
No, barely, but no.
No? Okay, good. Victoria, Canada. So 3 magnets. Awesome. These are so cool. And this one's from that art, the same artist as this. So it's really neat. Like they're an indigenous, I think they're up there by the tribal area. So, and she's the one that sent us this one too, right?
Yes, she did. Came in the big old box.
Are you sure? Well, there was the letter that came with it. There was the letter that came with the... Is this one?
Yeah.
So her daughter made it? Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is from Kat also. So the tank, her daughter made this. Is that not amazing? Oh my gosh. It's a tank made out of
crochet.
And little crochet flowers,
I know.
lollipops.
Those were awesome.
I put them in a little vase that I already had in my studio. Those were really cute. So thank you, Kat. Those are fantastic. Really love it. Love it.
Thank you so much for all the gifts.
Yeah. Mona
incredible.
and Pat, thank you guys. Mark's board is quickly filling up.
Splatter.
Oh, okay.
Your
Thank you.
fans are demanding.
They're demanding the splatter. Let's do it. I need to get these brushes out of the water so they don't dry. All right. White. I think I did white, right? White and burnt umber last time. So when you're splattering, the main thing is just get it really milky consistency. You can add a little bit of your glazing liquid to make sure it bonds well to the canvas. And I just hold it really firmly in one hand and tap with my finger. And if you get it, too much of it on there, you can always dab it off while it's wet with a paper towel. So, if I get it on too much on my vase here, I can kind of tap that off. Just make sure your under layer is completely dry before you do this, and then you won't have to worry about lifting off any of your other colors, which would be a shame. You don't want to work on your painting and then splatter it too quickly, because then if you wipe it off, you will wipe off your paint too. You want that to happen. And the burnt umber, same deal. A little bit of the glazing liquid just to make it stick. But it needs to be the consistency of like milk, or very, very light. Oh, there we go. Good splatters on that one. Oh, okay. So see, I got a little big turd there. I'm going to get that off. Wet paper towel. It was like a piece of paint got stuck on there. There we go. Came right off. All right, we're done. Yay. Thanks, guys, for watching with us today. And, well, that was an hour, so it took a little bit longer than I thought.
Yeah, but we showed some stuff and did some stuff. So
yeah. And I might not, I don't want that much on my actual flowers.
You're off camera, so make sure you get that back on
off camera a little bit. Just on those.
And I hope everybody
petals.
joins us Saturday.
Yes, we're going to do Epic Elephant. It's going to be really great.
I'm looking forward to that.
So start with the black canvas. You're going to be painting along with me. I'm going to be starting on a black canvas, and we're going to be, that elephant's going to come together pretty quickly too. We're going to do like kind of a dry brush technique. If you watch the owl that we did like around October, it's going to be a similar technique where you just kind of do the dry brushing, and it's like magic. It's really, really fun. So it's going to be a fun technique. So hope you join us for that. Somebody
just said that they have a canvas that is already black.
Yeah.
With black gesso. Should they paint it?
I like to. I mean, yeah, I do, just because when you, if you make a mistake or do something on it, then you, the gesso and the black that you paint over the top won't match. So, there's really no way to match it exactly. And so the matte, the gesso is a really matte surface, and usually like the carbon black is a shiny black. It's got a gloss to it, and so you'll see the difference wherever you paint the glossy black over the top of your gesso. So I just like to give it a coat of black, even
that's smart.
Over the top.
Because if you have to wipe something off or clean it,
right, exactly. And the matte canvas also soaks in. It's basically like the white gesso canvas. If you imagine that, you wouldn't leave that black. Like even if you're painting a white canvas, white on a white canvas, you still paint it white. Okay. Because it having the white or the black will give you a head start. You won't have to fill in all the little white holes that you might, that would be on a white canvas. So, I mean, it'll be nice to have the black to start with for sure, but you definitely you don't want to leave your painting with gesso. You want it to be, paint,
you can't trust gesso. He's kind of odd that way. Don't leave it. Sorry.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you on Saturday. And if you're in my Thankful Art group on Facebook for the Patreon people, we're voting right now for what we're going to paint in April. So get in on that. Art Taking Flight. Did I say Thankful Art? Mm-hmm. Sorry. Art Taking Flight for the Patreon group. $10 folks. All right. And I'll be coming out with our schedule hopefully by the end of this week. So you can watch for that if you want to see what we're painting in April. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.